Why do Danish, Norwegian, and Swedish sound so similar? Imagine walking through a bustling Scandinavian market and hearing different voices. You might think they are all speaking the same language. Well, in many ways, they are. These three languages share a lot in common, and that's because they all come from the same ancient roots. They are called North Germanic languages, and they all descend from Old Norse, which was spoken during the Viking Age many centuries ago. This shared origin means they have similar vocabulary, grammar, and sounds. Historically, these countries have been connected for hundreds of years. Norway was under Danish rule for about 400 years, from the 1300s to the 1800s. During that time, Danish influenced Norwegian a lot, especially in writing. That's why Norwegian and Danish look very similar on paper. Even today, Norwegians often read Danish texts easily and understand some spoken Danish. Sweden, on the other hand, has its own language but still shares many words and sounds with Danish and Norwegian. When you listen to Danish, Norwegian, and Swedish, you notice that Danish has softer consonants and unique vowel sounds. This can make it tricky for Swedes and Norwegians to understand spoken Danish at first. Swedish sounds a bit more melodic and is often considered the clearest of the three, especially in pronunciation. Norwegian is special because it has two written forms called bokmål and nynorsk, which reflected different historical influences. Even though they sound similar, each language has its own distinct features. For example, Danish pronunciation can be quite different from how it's written, while Norwegian and Swedish are easier to understand in speech. When it comes to learning basic phrases, knowing that these languages share roots makes it easier to pick up words and expressions. If you learn one, you might find it easier to understand the others. This closeness in sound and vocabulary is part of what makes Scandinavian heritage so rich. It shows how these countries are connected through history and culture. While each language has its own character, the similarities help people from Denmark, Norway, and Sweden communicate more easily. It's a beautiful example of how language can reflect shared history and identity across neighboring nations.